Oh, welcome, and thanks for coming in today. Yeah, I want to thank you for being on time. I think that's a really good quality in a client, so I just want to thank you. Um, First, before we get started on anything, I have to go over confidentiality and what that means. So what that means is what we share, what you talk to me about, I'm not going to tell people. I'm not going to go say it on Facebook or any other media. Also, if I see you on the street, I'm not going to come up and say hello and talk about our session in front of other people. However, I can break confidentiality if there is a safety issue. What that means is if you are planning on committing suicide, then I can break confidentiality. If you plan on harming someone else, if you plan on homicide, I can inform that person. Also, when it comes to children, people that are elderly or people with special disabilities, if you tell me that they're being abused, then I can break confidentiality, and it's because it's my job as an LCSW to ensure the safety of individuals. Do you have any questions?
No, that's great.
No. So before we get started, I need to comment on your necklace. I think that is lovely.
Thanks.
I like that octopus.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love it. So.
Are octopus your favorite animals?
No, so I lived in Fiji for a couple months last year, and so my life, just everything fell apart, and so, the day that my parents disowned me, and, I was, prepping to, break up with my abusive boyfriend, I was just, I was walking the town one day, and I saw this man, he had no legs, and he was in this wheelchair, and he was selling them, and I was like, I support you, I love that you are, trying to keep your life together, and I was, right on the beach, and the mood was right, and for some reason I just saw it, and it stood out to me, and so I bought it, and it was, probably $7, it was dirt cheap, and I've worn it every day since, and it's just something that, is very meaningful to me, because it just reminds me of, a time when I literally had nothing left in my life, and I made it through, and I'm here now, and so it's something that I can, whenever I just need to be grounded, and just, bring myself back to reality, or just kind of, be okay, I can grab it, or it's always there, so it's just meaningful, I guess, so.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That is beautiful. I love that even in those moments in which you felt like you didn't have anything, you were able to still take care of yourself and give you what you needed. And you needed something that you can physically ground yourself to. And I think that's beautiful.
Thanks.
Next, with your abusive boyfriend, are you safe from him? Do you need any?
Yeah, no, that was, it lasted up until about, September. His last contact to me was probably 2 months, May, right before I started grad school, because I had finally posted about it and went public about it, and so he got super defensive of it, and again, called me out and told me that I was lying and that it was all in my head, but I finally have gotten to a point where, I don't have to respond, and it doesn't bother me, and so I just ignored it, and he hasn't reached out since, so I feel safe. I don't worry about that,
okay,
so yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
That is such a brave thing to do, to call him out, and even though you probably knew he was gonna, throw slander, but you were still able to take those steps to take care of yourself.
Thank you.
You seem like a really brave person. So, what brought you in today?
I survived an abusive boyfriend, but I got in a car crash, and it was terrifying because I just we were coming onto this exit, so it was when I was in California, and we were just hanging out, so I had this family that I was staying with, and we have this gorgeous pool, and we're just hanging out. It's 110 degrees, 150 we wouldn't be outside. 110, we're just in the pool, but we're okay, we're so hot, we had lots of friends over, let's go get some ice cream. So the family I was staying with, the mom, her daughter's friend, and her son, which was a 5-year-old little boy, all came, and we all went to town, where we went to go get some ice cream, and it was great. We're driving back, but the ramps, so to get on the freeway, it literally does not even give you more than 10 yards to merge over, and all the semis go in the slow lane, because the closest to the right lane, and so we were coming on, and my host mom that I was staying with, she took a smoothie, so she went to go put it in her cup holder, on her door, and so she started leaning to set it in the door and lean the car, just because habit of, your body goes where your eyes go, so she's looking, And all of a sudden, I'm like going to eat my ice cream because I'm like, this ice cream was so good. I love this place. I haven't been in forever. I need to go back. I just barely went. And so, yeah, I went and to take my bite of my ice cream, and I'm like going, and all of a sudden, I just feel this like huge jerk, and I still look, and then there's this glass all shattered in my ice cream, and I look over, and the semi is like, I kid you not, like it was right here because it was my window, and I like look, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and so my first thought, like I was just in shock, so I stood there for a few seconds, and then I was like, there's glass in my ice cream. I was like so mad about it because I wanted that bite, you know. I still had a lot of ice cream left, and so thankfully, like we pulled over. We were probably going about 45. The semi is about 65. So what had happened was that like the semi was coming and she like clipped onto his front, and so it just like pulled the rest of us. And so luckily, like everybody was okay. Nobody got hurt. Like it was just glass. But it was, like, terrifying because in that moment, like, I realized, it's like, oh, my gosh, like, had we been 1 second faster or 1 second slower, or the semi been 1 second slower, it would have been a head-on collision. And a semi against, I mean, it was a nice, like, I think it was a Land Rover. But so it was a nice, big, sturdy car, but a semi going 65 is going to plow you over no matter what size your car is. Like, nobody really survives semi crashes. So even the cop, when he came, was like, you're really lucky you lived through that, you know? And so it was like a huge blessing, but it was still like terrifying. So anytime I'm on the road and I just like I see merging, especially with semis, especially with semis, I like freak out and like just driving next to semis. I'm like I can feel that anxiety because I get worried, and anytime I go back on and off of that exit, because every time I'm there, like I still use that same exit, so I see it all the time, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's where I almost died. Like that could have been that's like where people would have put the little teddy bear for me, like. So, I don't know, I just, it's scary, so.
Oh. That was a lot.
I'm sorry.
No, what I'm saying is that's a lot you survived.
Yeah.
That was, for me, the way you're describing it sounds terrifying. And that's the word you used, and that's the way I would describe it as well. That sounds terrifying. Yeah. And I'm so glad you and your host mom are okay.
Thanks.
And how is she doing?
She's good, yeah. She got the insurance claim and everything. I told her she had to add the $1.65 for my ice cream to it, so it's all good. I never got that $1.65, but
okay. So it seems like a really important part to the story was the lack of ice cream.
Yeah, I expected you to have ice cream for me here.
I'm so sorry. Did you? And this is a serious question. Did you ever go back and get that ice cream?
No.
No.
I didn't even think of that. I am going to currently buy a ticket to California. Dang it, I was just there last weekend. I'm going to go back. Next time I go back, which will probably be in like September, I will get that ice cream. I think that's very important. Maybe I'm still bitter about that.
Like, you keep bringing it up, and I genuinely think you are.
I do think so.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, I think you're very real about it. I do think, like, now that you say that, yeah.
Like, I'm feeling a lot of, I don't know if it's like legitimately the ice cream, but when you talk about it, like your face gets a little flushed, and your eyes get a little red.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Do you feel like it's the ice cream that it's like a serious issue, or are you like putting your emotions onto like a tangible, less than meaningful object that you can like put your frustrations on?
Yeah.
Because a car crash this wasn't your fault. Mm-hmm. There was nothing that you could have done. You weren't the one driving. There was nothing you could have done to stop this car crash. Mm-hmm. So do you think by focusing on this ice cream that maybe is something you can control?
Dang. You just went deep there. From Ice King to control, like, wow.
But it's okay.
Yeah, no, that's a very valid question. I definitely think that could be, like, that's something that I am feasibly able, like, I'm a huge sugar person. I know I don't look it, but I love food and I love sugar and, like, I just, yeah. So I knew that I was, like, really looking forward to that ice cream.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe it is that, like, it partially is, like, the fact that I loved it and I wanted the ice cream. But another piece could have been that was the only thing I did have, like, that was mine in that crash, you know, and that was, like, my responsibility to eat that ice cream. So I need to go back and finish that ice cream that I never got to.
Yeah. So you talked about when you were getting onto ramps or you drive near semis that you still feel that anxiousness, and when your body reacted to that. So can you, I'm just curious what your body goes through and what you're feeling when you're coming onto the ramp or you're driving near a semi.
I think as soon as I get on a ramp, I like hurry and start glancing, like immediately. I'm like, okay, where's the car? I'm like very, like I sit up, everything. I'm just like, okay. Mirrors, like looking, and then I can feel myself just like tense a little bit. If there's a semi, I will definitely always slow down, and I'm just like, I'm gonna stay far away from you. If I do ever have to pass a semi, I just like speed past it. I hate driving next to them. I will avoid passing them if possible, like avoid being in the same lane next to them to pass them. I feel like with time it's kind of lowered, like it's not nearly as bad as it was. But there's still a little bit, or if I ever get like super close to them, then I can feel that anxiety again. But yeah, I it's just like,
I think what you're feeling is completely normal and completely rational. A lot of people who experience traumatic events or a crisis, their body has like a reflex.
I don't know if it's recording.
It's not.
Maybe it is.
Is it now?
Sorry.
It
froze.
It did freeze. We'll just rewind back. Okay, so you just said about how your body reacts.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think what you're feeling is really normal and completely reasonable to feel that way. A lot of people, when they experience a crisis or a traumatic event, their body has a reflex to it. And I think whether they like that reflex or not, it happens. And so I think it's completely understandable for you to, one, tense up when you see a semi, and two, completely avoid it. I think anyone would feel that way too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad I'm not alone in that.
No, gosh.
Yeah, it's stressful, and you're just like, ah.
Yeah, no, I honestly don't know anyone that would react differently than how you're feeling right now. So, but clearly it's impacting you, and so I want to be here. So, how long have you been driving?
Since I was 16.
Since you're 16.
So 5 years.
And okay, so 5 years. In your 5 years of driving, how often do you say that you've gotten onto a ramp or you've driven near a semi?
Oh, I don't know. A lot. More times than I can even think about.
Yeah. So, or how many times have you been in a car in general where you've gotten onto a ramp and the person driving has driven near a semi?
Too many times.
Too many times. Probably your entire life, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How many times have you gotten into a car crash with a semi? It's a little bit uneven.
Very. Yeah.
So, do you think when you drive near semis, the next time, or at least once, from now to our next session, just one time, from however many times you drive, that when you're near a semi or you're getting on a ramp, you can, instead of tensing up and focusing on the crash that you couldn't control, maybe focusing on a time that you were driving, that you were in control of, that things went smoothly. Do you think that could help?
After I get my ice cream.
After you get your, no, seriously, like that is priority number one.
I'll just be eating my ice cream and doing that, so I'm just gonna, the next time I get on a ramp, I'm gonna be like, oh, there's McDonald's, I'm gonna get an ice cream. And then I'll get on the ramp and I'll be like, screw you, semi!
I think,
yeah.
Okay, we keep talking about ice cream.
I'm sorry.
No, I think it's an issue. Not an issue, but I think it has substance.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I really legitimately didn't mean issue. I meant it's something that is important to you. I think...
I'm just a sugar fanatic. I think, like, it definitely, like, I do think there's a little bit of truth within that, like, control thing. But I do know that I kind of just bring it up because I'm very good at, like, I deflect my emotion from, like, the scary, like, serious and, like, let's be more. But I think that's also the way I cope with it. Like, I release it through making it more of a joke or finding something positive out of the experience, even though losing my ice cream wasn't positive, but it's something, like, that I can laugh about and find hilarious instead.
I think you just hit a nail on the head. That's a wonderful coping mechanism. And I think you should sit with that for a moment. Just being like, you have a really good coping mechanism of turning something sad, traumatic, tragic into either a learning experience or something you can laugh from. How does that feel?
Great.
Does it?
I learned that I need to eat my ice cream before I get in the car.
It wouldn't hurt.
I'm sorry, keep going.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's good to laugh, isn't it?
It is. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So much better.
Does it feel different when you were telling me the story? Like, your face was getting red, your eyes were watering, and you were tense.
Yeah.
And now you're more laid back, you're a little bit more relaxed, your face isn't flushed.
It's more humorous.
And you're laughing.
Yeah. Release a lot of that anxiety. Thank you.
Yeah. So, from now until you meet again next week, first, get your ice cream. Second, let's focus. Maybe even not while you're driving. You know, even if maybe if you're just sitting. Think about a time when you had that control and nothing bad happened. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. And congratulations on getting married,
yeah!
Sarah.